Hi guys, welcome to SMI Hub Canada. My name is Julie, and if you are new here, I talk about everything studying and immigrating to Canada. So today I'll be doing something different. This is an opinion vlog. I want to give my opinion. I know opinions are like buttholes. I always say everyone has one. So whatever I say now is purely my opinion. It's just how I feel, and I see, like, I just feel like addressing this issue. I might be wrong, I might be right, but this is how I feel. So if you're interested in this, stay tuned. Okay, so I just want to address some things that people talk about. I see it on YouTube, and I've tried hard to stay away from opinion vlogs, but I still want to give my opinion. So okay, so the first is a child that is raised in a developing country will turn out will turn out worse, or taking your children abroad or taking them to a developed country guarantees them a better future, a brighter future. I know so many people that believe this. I don't believe it. Like, if it's true, people like me, people like us will not turn out well. I was raised in Nigeria, and I left Nigeria, like, when I was old enough to, like, I was old by the time I left Nigeria, and I believe I am turning out fine. So I feel like the outcome of a child apparently lies in the hands of God. And also, the parents, how the children are raised, how did they grow up, what are they exposed to, how do the parents raise them, what are the examples the children are seeing, are they seeing parents that are go-getters? So children are more likely to be go-getters when they see parents that are go-getters. Research has it that parents that give a lot, children that live with parents that give a lot tend to become givers. So I feel like family patterns are what things that children take in. And I feel like a child that will excel irrespective of where the child is born or raised. I do believe that there are certain things that a country puts in place to ensure that at least it gives the child the best outcome at life. And some of it are missing in developing countries. But even in spite of all this, we still see that people are turning out well. So I feel that shouldn't be the major reason to relocate, believing that if you don't relocate, your child won't turn out well. But it is a good reason to relocate if you feel that it will help the child to have more opportunities. There's a thin line between it, and so that it just doesn't seem like I'm talking from both sides of my mouth, let me reinforce what I am saying. So what I'm saying is that we shouldn't believe that, because I'm now abroad or because I'm now in a developed country, my child will automatically turn out well. We still need to raise the child, in the way of the Lord. If you're a Christian, to raise the child, with moral principles, do things that you want your child to emulate, because I love to talk research a lot, but I just like research because these are proven facts and figures and statistics. So research has shown that children learn more by emulation than by instruction. So if a boy child sees you beat his mom, the child is likely going to repeat it. And all this has nothing to do with the government of that country. Like, children don't even care about that. The time they begin to feel the impact of the government is when maybe they need to get into university, and then they realize how useless the government is, But when a child is growing up, all they need is love, warm clothing. If you're in a cold country, they need shelter, and that's the basics that they need. And mommy should have money to pay for my school fees if you're in a country where you have to pay school fees. And that's where the government comes in. So it's a mix of both, but it's not a guarantee that if you raise your child in a developed country, it's going to turn out well. Another thing I want to talk about is the loneliness issue. So people talk about loneliness, being lonely abroad. So I want to talk about Canada because I'm in Canada. This, as I say, is purely my opinion. People talk about being very, very lonely in Canada, being depressed. And I want to talk about this. I will not... I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I'm very conscious about what I say outside, and I'm also trying to make sure I pass across what is really in my heart. So loneliness is a thing. It's not just you new immigrant or new student. It happens to everybody. The reason is because this place is not So the reason is because here people work, like the work culture is very strong. You see moms, 50-year-old grandmothers that, you know, back in Nigeria would probably be retired and taking care of their kids. You know, they are working, some are working 2 jobs. So there's not much access to a strong family support. So because of that, people get lonely. You can be in your house for 4 days and you might not come out, and you'll be fine because you can order food, you can order your groceries, you can order from Amazon, you can order from Skip the Dishes or whatever, and you will be fine. So people are used to being alone. It's a for yourself by yourself culture, I say. So there are people that support their family members. You see, some communities have strong family support, and I find out that it's often like among immigrants, or immigrants generally, the Indians, Africans, or even Black Americans and all of that. I think that this can also happen where we are coming from, because I'm trying to remember when I was in Nigeria. It depends on your personality. So I'm not a person that visits people a lot. I would say I'm an introvert. People think I'm an extrovert because I'm outspoken, but the definition of an introvert is actually somebody that likes to recharge and just get your energy from being alone. So I'm not someone that visits people a lot. I prefer to just stay indoors, read a book or 2 or something. So I'm that kind of person. So I've always experienced being alone. So coming here, it wasn't really different for me. I would say if you're single, you might feel more lonely than if you have a family, just because you are living, when you have a family, you are living with your husband and your children, or your wife and your children, you know. So you see them day to day, unlike if you are single. But the same thing applies. Like if you're living with your spouse, you're living with your kids, you might not want to make an effort to create communities, to interact with other people. And you need to interact with other people apart from your spouse and your kids. That's the only way you can feel like a human being. Like a human being, we're meant to relate with people, not just keep to ourselves. So I can imagine people coming from outside Canada, used to that very strong family support, where if you want to go for shopping, you want to go to the market, you can just drop your kid with your neighbor, or just your sister is just 2 towns away, or even living with you in the same city, and you can drop. Here you can't just drop your kids with anyone. You know, they will go to work. You have to call, you have to plan with their schedule. If they are working shifts, then you probably want to drop them when they are at home, if you are, you know. So because of that strong work culture, people tend to be, because people have to pay rent. You pay rent monthly, I know, you know, so it's expensive, and so people have to keep up with their bills and all of that. Yeah, people are busy. That's just what happens. So coming from that kind of culture where you see your family members, you know, it's a big family, you know, it takes a village to take care of the kids, and coming here, I can imagine the culture shock. I experienced the culture shock. I really did experience it, especially when I had my second child here. Oh my gosh, I experienced it, and I'm going to do a video on how to cope being pregnant as a student and all the things you need to put in place. So, but I quickly learned how to do it. So what are my tips? Is that everybody will be lonely if you don't decide to do something. You need to go out there, engage yourself with communities. People try to create WhatsApp group of, for instance, Nigerians in your town. You know, look for that kind of community. I know that some people are, like, especially Nigerians, I don't want to say this as a blanket statement, but many Nigerians feel like they shouldn't associate with people from their country. I don't know why that is. Like, we see people from other countries coming together to help each other. Yeah, there will always be bad eggs, but just give people, extend that hand of trust. And remember that if someone breaks your heart, you know, it doesn't mean that everyone is bad. You need to reach out and just have friends once in a while, or have a WhatsApp group that you are a part of. So when they throw community events, you can go and just try to do things to prevent yourself from being lonely. You need to make an attempt. You can't sit in the house all day and cry that you are lonely. You need to make friends. Also make friends with people from other culture. Make friends. I have very great friends from other culture, beautiful people. Make friends outside your race. If you are single, interact with people. You know, if as married, have friends as well apart from your husband, your spouse. Make friends, then take advantage of communities you belong to. Like if you go to church, take advantage of, don't just leave after church. Try to make friends. Be intentional about it. Be intentional about not being lonely here. And if you're intentional about it, you will see you're not going to feel lonely, because loneliness can lead to depression. I see people sliding into depression, and I don't like it. People being suicidal, people even killing themselves because they feel lonely. So when you come here, I know you are coming from a big family culture, right? There are very beautiful people here. I've met wonderful people. I mean, elderly people, I find out that they are very warm and inviting. Some of them really, really, really need friends. So make friends with people like that. Your neighbors, talk to them. If they keep to themselves, then fine, just try. But if not, fine, you don't have to force yourself on anyone. But if you feel that someone is showing you the green light, then you know, just the society will give back to you as much as you give back to them, in terms of energy, in terms of friendship. So that's what I want to say about that. I've talked about the strong work ethic, and that's something that is different here. So the myth is that you get here, everything is gold. But the truth is that you have to work hard and you have to work smart. That's important. And as a student, as a mom, I've learned to work smart. I've learned not to engage myself in everything. I will describe myself, I don't know how people would describe me, but I am very sensitive to, I'm a humanitarian. I would say I like to engage myself in things that will make the world a better place as much as I can. That means that I get involved in a lot of projects. I've learned to say no, to streamline myself, because I don't want to become useless when I get back home to my family. So there is that strong work ethic here. If you are not hardworking, so if you do fine here, you can do fine anywhere in the world, anywhere, honestly. But there's a factor of opportunities, and this is I do believe you can make opportunities from what you have. But I also believe that the government has a role to play in making opportunities abound for youths. And then the Canadian attitude. My video is going long, and I don't want it to be long. But talking about, people say Canadians are. So what I just want to say is that Canadians are tactful. They are polite. They are friendly. You know, they are not. The word friendly, they are not hostile, visibly hostile. At least that's a plus. So you know, when you come here, you see people smile at you politely. At least you get respect, even if it's a surface level, but at least you get it. You get the basic respect that you need as a human being. Like, you know that inhibition that people have to foreigners in their country. I think to a large extent because Canada is cosmopolitan. There are a lot of people coming from different parts of the country, so they are used to seeing people from different races, and I give them a plus for that. They are friendly, they are polite, friendly on a surface level, because you have to cultivate a deeper friendship with anyone anyway. So that about that. But because they are very tactful, they might not necessarily say all that is on their mind. I think it's important that we accept this. It's just a cultural thing. Just like we have a culture back home in Nigeria where we say things that are on our mind, we can be blunt, and we like it. Because, if you feel somehow about me, you tell me, and I know, it still doesn't mean there's some people in Nigeria that don't that are not blunt. I mean, there are people that are not. They are very super tactful in Nigeria as well. So, but here is a cultural thing. Like, you can't just go blubbing about like in your place of work. So we need to recognize that and understand that it's a cultural thing. And I think they are doing their best in being friendly, especially now that they are talking a lot about racism, about things like that. So as a black person, they are opening up more opportunities for indigenous, for black people. So that's a good thing, and that's a good place to be at this point in time. But understand that because they are tactful, they might not necessarily say all that is on their mind. You need to just be aware of that. So in your work culture, I think it's just with Canada, if you respect them, they will respect you. If you respect yourself, carry yourself well, you know, people will carry you well, people will treat you well if you carry yourself well. And it's important not to be a pushover, so you need to set boundaries, let them know, be firm. And if you set boundaries and you're firm and you respect yourself and you give people their due respect, then you won't have any issues. People will respect you. If you want to talk things out, you need to think it through. Don't just, come like that. Nigeria might say, oh, I can't just say anything, blah, 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 blah. You have to think it through, be tactful. And if you're going to write anything, I'm talking to students now that are going to be teaching and all of that, anything that will be on record, you have to be careful about how you say. You have to think it through and know how you put together your words. Try to be polite. If you're going to pass across a critical or criticism, try to use the sandwich approach. So maybe say the good thing that the person has done, then pass across your comments or your criticism, and then wrap it up again with praise. These are ways to, for instance, if you are teaching or if you are asked to pass across a comment or something. So it's just a generally polite culture. And you give, as I keep saying, you give back to this, you get back from the society as much as you give. So give respect back, and make sure you are firm with your boundaries, and carry yourself with respect, carry yourself with dignity, know who you are. In Christ, I believe you are royalty. Carry yourself like that, and that energy we transmit. It's just the same way you do. If you're in Nigeria, if you carry yourself well, people will respect you. And if you're respectful to others, people will be respectful to you as well. We all deserve respect, regardless of who we are. So that's my opinion about this part of the Canadian culture. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the fact that, people say don't relocate. Why do you want to relocate? There's a lot going on about that. I'm tired of the argument. Nigeria is better than Canada. Canada is better than Nigeria. I think we should let people make their decisions. If you feel you really need to relocate, there are many reasons why I decided to come to Canada. Some of it are apparent, some of it are not. If you feel led to do it. Likes to travel, and I don't like to be hindered, and I really wish to have my mobility to be able to travel anywhere without having to apply for visas. I mean, that's a reason. Some people just want to have an international experience. There's no shame in that. There's some people want to experience, they want to broaden their horizon career-wise. There's no shame in that. Some people want to raise their kids where they feel more secure, where people that will be meeting them at gunpoint and collecting their money are being settled from taxpayer. That's money they get from us. So that's another point. So people say they tax heavily here, but the amenities, the basic amenities are provided, and the major thing is that they tax from you to give to those that don't have enough, so that they won't meet you at gunpoint, to just provide an overall sense of security. You don't get people stabbing you with knives to collect your money, because they have money, welfare money for basic needs. They tax as well because of health. Health is free here in Canada because we are being taxed for it. Well, they also tax you for basic amenities. So yeah, to make an economy, a thriving economy needs to tax its citizens. If you see a country where they don't tax, where people get by without being taxed, then you will see that the economy will not thrive. The last thing I'll talk about is that if you go abroad, it doesn't mean that you should totally detach yourself from your country. I will always be Nigerian. I might be any other nationality, but if you become a Canadian, you become a Nigerian Canadian because you are born Nigerian and you are adopted into Canada. So there are two different things, and I'm very conscious of that. I am super conscious of that, and I think we need to be conscious of that. I think we need to invest back into the country. I know people don't get returns happens sometimes. And but I think we should just not dissociate ourselves from our birth country. We need to keep the culture alive. I speak to my children in Yoruba because I'm Yoruba. I speak to them every single day in Yoruba. I like to retain the culture. I eat my Nigerian food, so I just like that. And I like attending events that is just Nigerian, and also remember to keep the bond so that you can go back home easily. And if you want, you can also build a business back home. So the point is, don't believe the myth that once you leave Nigeria you've left. No. If you leave your country, it doesn't mean that you've cut ties with the country. I'll always be Nigerian first. So I'll just say this is a rant. It's an opinion vlog. It's also a rant of I hope this video did not come across as if I'm trying to promote traveling to Canada. No, I'm not. I believe you should do what you want to do. If you feel led to do it, then your life is just one. It's not a dress rehearsal. It's the real thing, right? So if you want to do it, do it. Go for it. If you don't want to, you want to stay back home, that's fine. I love that. That's okay as well. Whatever you want to do is fine. But I just want to talk about some of these things. Until the next time on this channel. Bye.